Whenever a new game comes out on Game Pass, like actually launches on day one, I like to take that opportunity when I have Game Pass to kind of have like a free review out, so to speak. The most recent entry is MLB The Show 21. I don't play sports games. I don't really know how to play sports games, but I tried it anyway just in case I could review it, and it did not go well at all as expected. First off, the Xbox record button wasn't really working properly. Every time I tried capturing, 3 minute long clips or 5 minute long clips, even 1 minute long clips, it'll only record like 8 seconds. So I don't know if there's something wrong with the game that is affecting the record thing. Maybe there's some copyright that it can't record, or there's just something wrong with the Xbox record, like there usually is. So, I don't know, but either way, even if I wanted to make a review, I feel like it wouldn't be possible just because I can't really show you any clips of it. I can show you like little snippets of the game. There's actually a lot of reasons why I always avoid at least competitive team sports, not so much like racing games, because I actually know what the goal is in racing games and how to do it. Or maybe like boxing games or wrestling games I could probably play. I don't watch sports. I was never a big sports kid growing up. I never played sports. Obviously, when you take gym class, you kind of have to partake in certain sports, wiffle ball or some shit, but I never really understood them as a kid. I just did them just to stay fit and active. But as far as learning the rules and fundamentals, I never really opened myself up to it. I'm just not a fan of sports games or sports in general. Um, but one thing I absolutely despise about sports video games, whether we're talking about Madden or NBA or NHL or FIFA or MLB, from what I've played, it's never felt accessible for people who are kind of oblivious to sports games. It's almost like it's made exclusively for people who like know everything about how that particular sport is played. Every time I look at like a stat and a stat increase on my character, I see them improving, but I don't know what each stat means. Like they use these weird freaking acronyms instead of actually telling me what they are. Like, dude, like what is this? Is this my strength of the throw? Is that how fast I can throw the ball? It's all a second language to me, and it's just way too hard for me to fucking figure out how to play it or what everything works. I feel like I'd have a better shot at like decoding a freaking a hacker or something. Like, I don't know anything about this, man, but it wouldn't hurt for the game developers to actually make an effort to make sports games more accessible. When I feel like I can learn a sport better in real life than I can in a simulation, I feel like your simulation is absolutely worthless to me. Just because if it's that much easier for me to like, not so much perform, because obviously you need to be in a decent amount of shape and skill to play sports, but I mean like in terms of actually learning the rules and how it's meant to be played, stuff like that. It's important, and they never do it right in sports games. I could be wrong because I don't play a lot of sports games, but in MLB terms, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not too bad at pitching, because sometimes the catcher will give you like, hand clues and stuff, and the controller will vibrate when you're in the right spot when you're aiming. So obviously it's a lot easier for me because I got cues. When I'm the batter, that's a whole different story. You gotta hit the ball right, you gotta aim where the ball is going, and it even has this weird thing where you have to guess the position of where the ball's going, and you can only guess once, but if you guess it right, your aim will be like locked into that position, and you'll only have to worry about timing your swing. But still, it only lets you guess like one time, and if you guess wrong, you can't guess it again. Like, what the fuck is this? I have to rely on like, basically, you have to rely on like a luck. Like, no, there's no luck in sports. Don't put that shit in sports games. This ain't an RPG or anything. Like, why is that even there? I mean, maybe if they could like give me a hint of like what the catcher is trying to do on the opposite team, I could be like, oh, okay, I think the ball's gonna go there. But like, don't let me wildly guess which of like the I don't know how many directions, like 12 different directions or something ridiculous, to see where the ball's gonna go. When you're an outfielder or an infielder and your goal is to catch the ball and to throw it at whatever base, first base, second base, whatever, doesn't really give you a good tutorial about how to catch the ball. So I'm not good at that either. So I'm pretty good at pitching, not good at batting. I'm never good at timing my throws. Like I always miss the ball. Almost every fucking time. And when I do hit it, it'll go off to the side and like hit the stand or whatever. Never had a home run. I only tried playing the game once. I tried playing it yesterday and I only played it for like an hour and a half or 2 hours max, and I just couldn't get into it. I got into the story mode, the road to the show, I think that's what it's called. I tried choosing my home team because I live in New England, so obviously I'm gonna pick the Boston Red Sox. I had this weird awkward dialogue scene where it's like a phone call with no voiceovers, and I have like optional dialogue of like what to talk to. Like he was like, "So what team do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the Angels or something?" I'm like, "No, but it's an American team. It's an American league." And they're like, "Oh, so do you want to play as the Yankees?" And they were doing this weird back and forth guessing game. And I'm like, "No, not the Yankees, but one of their rivals close by." And he guesses something that's like so not obvious at all. I don't even know what team he was saying, but I'm like, no, it's the Boston Red Sox. That's like their biggest rivals, right? The Yankees, maybe. It's a good guess, at least. So I had to like go through this weird, awkward back and forth conversation with no spoken language or anything like that. And I created my guy. You can create your own player, which is cool. Again, there's no bald head option. Apparently, there's no such thing as bald baseball players. There are, just like how there are bald football players out there. So, yeah, I couldn't really make my guy look like me. You know, the beard is pretty good, but and the eye color, dark brown. Of course, they didn't have the Darien and Garnett in their announcer language. So I just went with my birth number 93. I didn't even make it into the Red Sox. You start out in like a lower tier like the New Hampshire Fisher Cats or the Portland shit. Is it the Sea Dogs? I think the Portland Sea Dogs. I think that was the one I was on. It's like now batting number 93 for the Portland Sea Dogs and shit. Of course, I didn't make it far at all. Me being a batter, even though I previously said that I wanted to be a pitcher or an infielder, they still had me on as a batter. I don't know if that's a bug. I don't know if I did something wrong. I don't know because I don't know anything about this crap. You know what I really hate though is I keep going on about how I hate this and that, but the whole pre-show, the pre-game of these like real-time live action debates. Like what is this? How does this really affect the gameplay? It's just me listening to like a bunch of middle-aged men debate about sports and talk about sports and like I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. I'd have a better shot at understanding Spanish than I would understanding sports language. So yeah, they're just bickering on about you throw the ball and it was a good game. I was like, oh my god, dude, I just want to play the fucking game. I want to play sports. Like I don't want to listen to this shit. I feel like most people who watch these games and Super Bowl and stuff, they don't watch it because of the announcers or not even because of the halftime show. They watch it because of the goddamn game, right? So why would I want to play something and have to listen to that crap? I understand they're trying to make it as simulated as possible, and you have different options. You can make certain things go automatic, like the outfielder gameplay. You don't even have to press the button. You can just if you want to, do an automatic, you can. That's another thing that I don't like about sports games is that you kind of have to control everybody. Usually, you have to control the batter, the pitcher occasionally, the in and outfielders of your team. It almost feels like it is harder to play a sports video game than it actually is to play sports because you only have one position when you're playing sports in real life as opposed to playing a video game where you have to manage everything. I can't bring myself to be committed into sports in general just because I feel like they aren't accessible and they're definitely not easy to learn for people who just don't really understand that part of human society and how important it is. That's another thing. Competitive sports anyway are taken way too seriously. People go nuts over the Super Bowl. They go crazy. Sometimes they even go violent, and I don't understand why. It's just a game. It's sports. And that they act like it's something so just important, and I don't understand why. I never understood that part about American society, and I don't think I'll ever will, just because I still think it's stupid. But yeah, it was free, and I just figured I'd try it. I was hoping to somehow learn from it and be like, okay, this isn't bad. Maybe it'll open me up to more sports games, but no. If anything, it just drives me even farther away. I've also heard reports that there are bugs. I haven't seen bugs. I will say that sometimes when you hit the ball, it'll magically teleport to an opposite team outfielder. I'll see my ball fly, right? And it will magically turn and traject to that specific player. It's weird. I don't know if it's the player knows exactly where the ball is gonna go. That looks so fucking unrealistic to me. I highly doubt that happens in real life. It felt rigged, and I know I suck at sports games, but the fact that the crowd boos at you when you play and you play badly, that just discourages me even more from even finishing the damn game. It discourages me from actually playing the sports games because their crowd boos at you. What do? Your morale doesn't go up; it goes down. Which there is a morale for each individual players too, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, man, when I was in 8th grade or 7th grade, I think I was at a New Hampshire Fisher Cats game, baseball game in Manchester. And first of all, I didn't boo because I didn't even know who was winning or losing. But even if I did know, even if my team was losing, I wouldn't boo. I feel like the only people who boo are fucking assholes. I never really boo at someone. It's just, again, assholes who take sports way too seriously. Anyway, guys, yeah, I just want to let you know that I tried playing a sports game and it did not go well as usual. It did go about as expected, though. I hate sports. And I fucking hate this game. Even if I was a sports fan, I feel like I probably wouldn't like these new editions of FIFA or Madden or NBA, whatever, because they have a lot of microtransactions in them too. These things are getting plagued by simulated gambling, and it's like the worst I've ever seen. I hear NBA is like almost unplayable unless you boost by just buying hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of, microtransactions. It is absolutely sick. Whether you're a fan or not, fuck sports games, man. They're a fucking waste of money. And they're literally a waste of money because they go down in price so fucking fast. I could get last year's MLB game for under $10. I can probably get it for $5. Sports games go down in value so goddamn fast. It is pointless to ever get a sports games at full price. They might as well be free with all the lack of value that upholds and the microtransactions. Sports games might as well be fucking free like MLB The Show is on Game Pass. Anyway, guys, yeah, that's gonna do it. Wow. It's been a while since I had a rant like that, huh? That was one hell of a rant. I do not like sports games. I do not like this game. I fucking hate sports games. Let me be the nerd I am meant to be.
The gamer gods fail.